Eric, it's kind of funny to have this conversation. We spoke to a longtime bear at the beginning of the show who's underweight, all about this idea of valuation. So I'm assuming that your projection takes into all the exciting things we heard on the call last night, like that annual growth of more than 50%, robo-taxis, energy, et cetera.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me on. And, the more bears, the better. I think we like positions that are complex and tricky to figure out from a valuation perspective. So everything that we heard last night in the call really confirms a lot of the analysis that went into that 91-page report, which obviously I can't get into all 91 pages today, but just the highlight reel, which is we expect 50% compounded growth over the next several years. We expect expanding margins. And we really think that this is very early on in the Tesla story, really only in the first or second inning.
Yeah, so Eric, I'm curious, what do you think of this disconnect between sort of your traditional Wall Street analysts who have been behind this trade for many years and yourself and the ARKs of the world that are, looking to the future? Why do you think that Wall Street isn't, counting the idea of robo-taxis, which Elon Musk said last night, is going to be cheaper per mile than a subsidized bus ticket? Is there just a disbelief that he can actually do it?
Yeah, so I think in general, what I would say is that we consider ourselves outsiders, which really, I think, gives us an advantage. What we've seen historically is on Wall Street, a relatively superficial level of research. I think Wall Street tends to go pretty wide, and our advantage comes on going deep. And so when we own a position, and we want to own positions really for the long term, we need to go super deep into the analysis to find a variant perspective that ultimately is differentiating from Wall Street's perspective. And we love to find these scenarios. I mean, we love to find scenarios where there is a really wide dispersion between our belief of the future and the growth and consensus expectations. And the wider that dispersion, the more arbitrage exists for us to exploit as long-term investors.
Eric, I wonder if you're surprised at, I would argue, maybe the lack of Musk copycats, people who are stealing pages from his playbook, either from a production standpoint or a capital raise standpoint or a marketing, a troll, even Twitter troll standpoint. And if there are some, who would you look to first?
Yeah, I think that what I found shocking, so a colleague and I went down a couple of weeks ago to Austin, Texas to take a look at the new factory, which is a pretty incredible facility. And one of the more shocking elements to me was not just the scale and some of the core engineering and innovation that's happening there, is that they simply opened it up for everyone to see. And I thought that was such a move of confidence to show some of the most profound, groundbreaking, cutting-edge manufacturing techniques. And Tesla just invited the public in to see it. And I think that speaks to the confidence and the maturity of this business. And ultimately, that factory combined with Giga Berlin, Giga Shanghai, and the expansion of Fremont, we're very early in this growth curve from our perspective.
Right. I also think it's interesting, he gets knocked around a bit for past projections or forecasts that maybe were late, right? Obviously, his robo-taxi prediction is still late. But I wonder if you think at least the street is coming around to the idea that, all right, maybe the date that he gives on a certain target is questionable, but he's going to get it done eventually.
Yeah, to be clear, from our research, we do believe that Tesla will achieve an autonomous robo-taxi network. I think one of the core mistakes that many investors seem to make from my perspective is they disbelieve Elon. And I think that this is an individual who has really cultivated a culture of innovation that exists in all of his firms, not just Tesla, but we see it at SpaceX as well. And so, frankly, when we just go back to our valuation, again, this is all our analysis, our opinion, not financial advice. Our 10x by 2030 valuation assumptions do not include robotaxi, and they also do not include other real-world AI products.